It is the first Sunday of May. Can you believe it? How'd it get to be May already? Last thing I knew, we were celebrating the new year, and now we're enjoying beautiful spring weather practically all across the country. And the first Sunday of the month, I always try to share a few tips to encourage you. And I mentioned in the title of this that I was going to share the one word you should never say. I'm going to revamp that a little bit. It's the one word you shouldn't say at least 75% of the time. I'm going to give you some examples. And what do you think that word is? And there's probably a lot of words that we shouldn't say. So write them in the comments below, okay? What do you think? Before you listen to this, because you're going to get it afterwards. The one word we should never say is never. Because the problem is the way we use never, it usually is the negative form. Oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Oh, I'm never going to be able to lose weight. Oh, I'm never going to be able to get up early and exercise. Oh, I'm never going to get that job that I dream of. Oh, I'm never going to be able to create that business that I dream of. Oh, I'm never going to be able to, you fill in the blank. We say it so many times, and sometimes we don't say it out loud. We just think it. But I call that stinking thinking. And that stinking thinking keeps you and me from making our dreams come true. And that's not what we were created for, right? We've got a great big purpose on this world. And sometimes we get confused as to what that purpose is. Every industry, every job type needs you. You were created for that purpose, to be a positive impact on those people around you. Whether you're a school teacher, a nurse, a business owner, entrepreneur, whether you work in a factory or an auto mechanic shop, it doesn't matter, but you're there for a purpose, and a positive purpose at that, right? You're gonna make a big difference on this world, and it's sometimes the difference you make on your coworkers, the difference you make on your family, the difference you make on your friends, because you are that light of positivity, that light of encouragement. I know you are, and you have such an important purpose, but so many times we derail ourselves by using that nasty little N-word, never. Now, the only way that we should use the N-word, here's a couple of things. I'm never gonna stop growing. I'm never gonna stop encouraging my friends. I'm never gonna stop being a positive impact on this world. And it's just even the little worlds that each of us have. That's that extraordinary impact that I think you take for granted sometimes. I know I do. Sometimes you don't feel like you're making a big impact. But it's the impact that you make on that one person that changes their life and the trajectory of their future. That you were placed there for such a purpose, for such a time as right now. Maybe you're in a business and you're tired of the negativity that's around, but you're the positive light in that business. That's a purpose. You've got that opportunity. We just have to stop thinking of the negative nevers in our life. You can do all things through the power that you have put together. So come on, what are we waiting on, right? You've been doing it for years, you've been doing it for decades, but I've got a feeling that there's something else that you want to do. And perhaps you've told yourself that you'll never be able to do it because maybe you've been working at it for decades and you're just a little tired, a little discouraged. You know, many of you have heard me talk about the book I just released was The Dirty F Word, Lessons We Learn from Our Failures. But the first book I wrote was called The 7 Ds to Your Destiny. And I often like to remind people that one of those Ds is to be able to defeat your own disappointment. And maybe you're dealing with that right now, and that's why you're using the N-word of never. Because you've been working towards something for a long time and it just hasn't happened yet. Don't give up. Stop saying it'll never happen. It just hasn't happened yet. Even if you're trying to figure out, I'm always working on losing weight. Even if you're saying, don't say I'm never gonna do it. I just haven't accomplished it yet. But I will someday, and so will you. If we keep that N nevers out of our life on the negative side. So we'll call that the double N, a negative never, but we're gonna use maybe those positive nevers. I'm never, ever, ever going to give up. That's a quote from Winston Churchill. I love him so much, and I love so many of his quotes because he was an inspiration during World War II when Britain was not doing well before the United States got involved in World War II. But Winston Churchill was such an extraordinarily motivating force. He made a huge impact just by sharing some positivity and encouragement in the lives of all those around him. We can all use that person in our lives, right? I'm trying to be that person for you today, and I thank you so much for tuning in and taking a few minutes first Sunday of the month just for a little bit of encouragement, okay? So remember, the word we're not going to use any longer is the negative form of never. You just haven't got to the next step yet. The key word is yet. But as long as you never, ever, ever give up, you'll get there. I'm 100% sure. So that's my little encouragement for this Sunday. I hope you have an amazing week and an amazing month, and I can't wait to share a little encouragement with you again next time. Remember, you were created for greatness.